A large fire in downtown London rips through an iconic restaurant.
Also ahead, 3 days after a woman turned up dead outside her father's home, investigators are still trying to figure out how she died. We'll have the latest on the search for clues.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Jennifer Palumbo. The owners of a Southern Kentucky landmark are cleaning up and wondering what's next after an overnight fire destroyed their restaurant. The fire started around midnight at Weaver's Hot Dogs at Main and West 6th Streets in London. Weaver's has been a popular attraction there for more than 70 years. WKYT's Mark Barber is in Laurel County with reaction. It's our top story at 4.
Firefighters say it's a heartbreaking loss. In just a few hours, the fire destroyed the iconic restaurant that has been a part of London's identity for 75 years. Firefighters tell us the fire started around midnight at the corner of Main Street and 6th Street in downtown London. Fire crews say they desperately tried to save the restaurant from the flames, but it was too late. We're told no one was hurt, but the clothing store next door was heavily damaged by smoke. Weaver's has been locally famous since 1940 for its chili dogs. Even after it was closed a few years ago, its popularity wouldn't let it stay closed for long. It reopened a few months later with a new owner. People who have come here for decades say they're devastated by the loss, but they hope the fire won't write the restaurant out of London's history.
I really do hope they rebuild. Downtown needs it. I think you got national allocates for its hot dogs and chili. I think of the best in Kentucky maybe was featured. So it's just, it was a recognizable landmark here in London.
It would be a travesty if they don't rebuild, because to me, Weaver's is synonymous with London and it's vice versa, you know?
Firefighters say at this point, they don't know where the fire started. The fire marshal is here trying to figure out what sparked the flames. In London, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Fire crews were still putting out hot spots at noon today, 12 hours after the fire started. Investigators are back on the scene today looking for clues in the death of a Central Kentucky woman. 22-year-old Katrina Craver was found dead outside her father's home on Nest Egg Road Friday night. The Montgomery County Sheriff's Office says Craver had head trauma. They're trying to figure out if that was accidental or criminal.
Intentional, unintentional, or just clearly an accident. And at this particular point, we have a theory on what took place.
Coming up on WKYT News at 5 and 6, hear from Craver's father as well as get the latest on the investigation. We're working on a number of other stories for WKYT News beginning at 4:30. Amber Philpott joins us from the newsroom with a look at some of the news in progress. Good afternoon, Amber.
Good afternoon to you, Jennifer. A battle between big distributors and the state's craft beer makers is making its way to the state legislature. The battle involves House Bill 168, filed by House Speaker Greg Stumbo. The bill would prohibit those who have a brewer's or out-of-state malt beverage license from also having a distributor's license, similar to the state system for spirits and wine. On WKYT News at 5:30, we'll go into detail on how the bill would affect both craft breweries in the state and the world's largest brewer, Anheuser-Busch. When President Obama said he would enjoy discussing politics with Senator Mitch McConnell over a glass of Kentucky bourbon, many were excited to help make that happen. And today they are. The Kentucky Distillers Association and the Henry Clay Center for Statesmanship is sending the Bourbon Barrel of Compromise to Washington, D.C. This morning, master distillers from several distilleries filled the barrel at Henry Clay's Ashland estate. The barrel of bourbon is now Washington bound. Coming up on WKYT News at 5, we'll tell you who will be attending the ceremony when that bourbon arrives in D.C. And have you ever wanted to get your picture taken with a wolf? Well, now you can, thanks to Wolf Run Wildlife Refuge in Nicholasville. The center is offering a unique opportunity for Valentine's Day. The refuge is holding Valentine's Day photo shoots with their wolf hybrids. The photo shoots are being held from now until February 14th. On WKYT News at 5:30, we'll have the details on how the shoots will help raise money for the animals who live there at that refuge. That is a look at just some of the news in progress. Jennifer, back to you.
Thank you, Amber. It's Groundhog Day, and Punxsutawney Phil saw his shadow this morning, which is supposed to mean 6 more weeks of winter. It definitely looks and feels like winter today. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey joins us with a first look at the forecast. And Chris, the good news is the groundhog is wrong more times than he's right.
Yeah, exactly right. You know what? It's obviously much more of a novelty than anything else. I look around for my shadow just each and every day back here, just to try to help out the forecast. Today, though, looking for shadows a little harder to do with a lot of overcast. Started out today with snow showers, flurries out there, had a lot of cancellations and delays. Those temperatures late this afternoon only recovering into the mid-20s into most of the area. So right now in Lexington, 26 degrees, overcast conditions. Feels like it is down to 17, though, with that wind that is coming at us from the northwest at around 9 miles per hour. So overcast skies, chilly temperatures. Defenders still with a couple of snow showers back to our west. Majority of the action, though, over the past 24 hours has been across eastern and southeastern Kentucky. You can't get rid of those clouds courtesy of a very stubborn northwesterly wind flow and just a hint of some moisture coming at us from Lake Michigan. Eventually, we clear the skies out as we go through the evening. Those flurries across the east will give way to a frosty cold temperature, closing in on 20 degrees by 11 o'clock. Focus the forecast, Jennifer, when I come back in a few, tracking another Arctic cold front for the middle of the work week.
Thank you, Chris. Now to stories making headlines across the nation at 4. The White House has unveiled President Barack Obama's 2016 budget. Administration officials say it's focused on helping the middle class, but Republicans say it's more about taking from the rich. Brooke Silva Braga is at the White House with more details.
President Obama's new $4 trillion budget arrived on Capitol Hill on pallet jacks. The president says the economy is growing and now is the time to invest in working families. He's proposing more tax relief for the middle class and more taxes on the wealthiest Americans. The president is asking for $478 billion to repair the country's crumbling roads and bridges and wants to use a one-time tax on overseas corporate profits to pay for nearly half of it.
We can't afford not to.
But with nearly $2 trillion in tax increases, Republicans say this budget is the same old Democratic playbook. More taxes, more spending, and more debt.
It is totally unacceptable for West Virginians and all Americans to live within their means while the federal government continues to allow its spending and debt to run rampant.
President Obama is already at odds with the Republican-controlled Congress over funding for the Department of Homeland Security, and he went there to unveil this budget and press lawmakers to act.
Men and women of America's Homeland Security apparatus do important work to protect us, and Republicans and Democrats in Congress should not be playing politics with that.
Republicans have tied DHS funding to stopping the president's actions on immigration. Without a deal, Border Patrol agents and TSA screeners could be working without pay. Brooke Silva Braga for CBS News, the White House.
President Obama also warned Congress not to send him their own budget plan if it includes the across-the-board spending cuts already in place. The Centers for Disease Control is issuing a new warning as the number of measles cases in the U.S. continues to grow. Right now, there are at least 102 reported cases in 14 states, many of them traced to Disneyland. The CDC director and President Obama are urging people to get vaccinated immediately. The president is also encouraging parents to get their children vaccinated, saying those who don't pose a risk to others.
Follow WKYT online at WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
Wall Street reacting to news today that Americans spent less in December but earned more. The Dow jumped 196 points to close at 17,361. The S&P added 26 to go back above the 2000 level, and the NASDAQ added 41. This year's Super Bowl ads had lots of people talking. A 30-second spot cost a record $4.5 million. There were winners and losers. Budweiser's ad, featuring a lost puppy and the beer maker's signature Clydesdale horses, struck a chord with viewers and ad experts. The Always Feminine Products ad was the most popular on social media. It urged viewers to reconsider what it means to do things like a girl. But Nationwide Insurance might have missed the mark. Its ad about preventable childhood accidents sparked an online backlash. Prices at the pump are holding steady. According to GasBuddy.com, the national average is $2.05 a gallon. That's down 16 cents from this time last month and $1.23 from this time last year. Here in Kentucky, the average is a little higher at $2.08 a gallon. The lowest price we found was $1.72 in the western part of the state, while the highest is $3 a gallon in Somerset and northern Kentucky. Prices in Lexington range from $1.94 up to $2.12 a gallon. New details about Jay-Z's $56 million bid for a Swedish music streaming company. Aspiro operates two streaming services, Wimp and Tidal. Subscribers pay $20 a month. The service promises better audio quality than Spotify and Pandora. If you need your daily coffee fix, a fast food chain has a deal for you. For the entire month of February, Chick-fil-A is serving up free hot and iced coffee, and you don't have to buy anything to get it. Chick-fil-A is promoting its new specialty-grade Thrive Farmers coffee. Customers will receive one 16-ounce cup of hot or iced coffee per visit while supplies last. Central Kentucky restaurant is making a difference in the community.
And Deanne Stevens is out and about today at Chuy's to tell us how they are giving back. Hey there, Deanne.
Hey, good afternoon, guys, from Chuy's here right off Nicholasville Road, where they have been doing something very cool. We first told you about it a couple of months ago, and since then, they have sold all kinds of donor club cards. Now, what does that mean? A donor club card for like $25. You get this donor club card, and the money goes to a great cause. David Feigl, Chloe Hurley with us. Chloe, UK Children's Hospital, David Feigl with Chuy's. What is the donor card, and what has it meant this last couple of months?
Well, donor club card is basically where a customer can come in and buy a card for $25, like you said, and they get a free queso or a free guacamole anytime they come in with a purchase of an entree. Now, what that means for us is that, one, we're a great partner with the community and the hospital, and two, all the money goes to the hospital. So just a great cause for the kids. You
guys have done a great job in raising money, because when you think about a $20 donor card that raises
$4,000 for sure.
$1,000 for the UK Children's Hospital. Chloe Hurley with us now. What a great feeling it is to get a check like this.
It absolutely is. These guys are great. You know, there's a lot of different causes that you can support, and we are so appreciative that they have chosen us and partnered with us, and helps us out with our renovation that's going full blast right now.
It's such a unique partnership between you guys, and I know in the past David has done some things personally to raise money for you all. Talk a bit about that and where this is going to go specifically.
So they're helping us in a couple different ways. With the Dine to Donate event that they are going to be hosting, it's going to be directed towards our Survivor Picnic, which is a great event that we have during the summer for all of our pediatric cancer patients. And then they're also going to be helping out specifically with the renovation to help with a room naming. So helps us out tremendously, and we're just super duper appreciative.
Is it too late to get a donor card?
No, it's not. We're going to sell them all the way through January, but then also into February too. So we really want to hit our goal of $5,000. So there's still more to make.
Okay, so good news is February is now, and you still have an opportunity to get those donor cards. Now, coming up at 4:50, more on a very special day happening tomorrow that you can participate in that will again benefit the UK Children's Hospital. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about at Chuy's. Back to you guys.
It's time for Better Living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. A new study warns about too much salt and sugar in prepackaged food for children. Research in the journal Pediatrics looked at more than 1,000 meals and snacks marketed for babies and toddlers. It found a significant number were too high in sodium or sugar. That included packaged fruits, vegetables, cereals, and juices. A woman's health during pregnancy may be an important factor in preventing childhood obesity. A study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition looked at several maternal factors, including excess weight gain, obesity, smoking, and low vitamin D levels. Researchers found those factors were linked to a higher risk of babies becoming overweight or obese by the age of 4. For patients who are awake during surgery, having some sort of distraction can help ease both the pain and anxiety. Researchers in the United Kingdom worked with about 400 patients during operations for varicose veins. Those who watched DVDs had 25% less anxiety. Interacting with a nurse or using stress balls lowered both the anxiety and the pain. A new survey finds for the first time Facebook use is declining among teenagers. Young people from 13 to 17 years old are dropping the social media site. Marley Hall looks at why.
Eloise Lobenthal is a high school senior, and she is so over Facebook. She deactivated her profile.
Most of my friends were deleting it.
An annual internet survey by Maggot Associates found Facebook use among teens dropped 6% last year.
By far the largest decrease we saw of any group using Facebook currently.
Social media experts say the fact that moms and dads and grandparents are now on Facebook makes teens less willing to share thoughts and photos on the site.
Facebook is more a utility now, like your electric bill. It's something that you have to have.
That's why after an 8-month break, Eloise is back on what is still the largest social media site in the world in a limited way.
The easiest way to communicate with my classmates if I need to get homework, we have a grade-wide Facebook page, which is also really super helpful.
Facebook's drop in popularity among teens is helping other social networks like Snapchat and Twitter gain ground. And the photo-based site Instagram saw a 25% jump in 13 to 17-year-olds last year.
People say, like, if you didn't Instagram it, it didn't happen.
Eloise's younger sister, Adelaide, is just 12, but is already social media savvy.
Do you think you'll ever at any point get a Facebook page?
I really don't think so.
There is a silver lining for Facebook. The social media giant also owns Instagram. Marley Hall, CBS News, New York.